Kelly from Cards by Christine and the Sunshine Stampin' Co. here with you for our monthly paper pumpkin. That's right, we are here in February 2026. We have our Celebrate Spring paper pumpkin kit ready to be unboxed and made with you today. I cannot believe we are talking about spring. Easter is early this year, so, I mean, I get it. I get it. But we have snow, and it's cold, and oh, man. But we have brightness, sunshine, and spring ahead. So thanks be to God for that. So welcome to Julie and Susan. We also have Randy from Southwest Michigan. So thank you guys all for joining. I am excited. I love paper pumpkin class. It has kind of been my, Hallmark class that I've been at the helm for the longest, so it holds a special spot in my heart. So thank you so much for being here. I am excited to dive into this kit. I honestly, just like always, I just don't have time to get into it ahead of time. So I have here the box. I don't even know what's in it. I mean, I know it's spring cards. I know it's Easter cards because I've seen the sneak peeks. But at this point, a lot of people have the kit unboxing and sample cards out there. I haven't even looked at any of it, so I'm excited to dive into it and see what we have in store. From what I understand, it coordinates with what do we call it? Easter basket, I think is what the suite is called. Or it's something like that. That doesn't quite sound right. But from what I understand, it coordinates with that, which I think is super exciting. I love that suite, the cute hand-drawn bunnies, and oh man, they're just so cute. I also love the pattern of the DSP. I personally am struggling a little bit with the texture of the paper. I have that sometimes where some textures hit my sensory wrong and gets me a little up in my feelings, but that's just me. I think the paper is beautiful. We've made some awesome cards with it already. And actually, Chris has her showcase video this afternoon. And our sweet bundle class for this month is or is it Easter Joy? Oh man, I don't know. I should commit these things to memory a little better. But anyways, that is our sweet bundle for this upcoming month, for the month of March, obviously leading into Easter. So great cards. She showed them to me on Tuesday. I photographed them. We got the cover photo put together last night. And so you may have seen a little bit of a sneak for that, but otherwise tune in today. I think the showcase is at 2 o'clock where you can see those and all of the other amazing card classes that we have coming up. The IPS for this month is the Cute as a Bug bundle, or sweet bugs. I don't know. Anyways, the suite name is different than the bundle name, and I think the class name is off of the suite name, but just technicalities. But such amazing cards. We just designed them this past weekend, and they are so good. I even showed them to my boyfriend, and he's like, oh, those cards are great. I'm like, yes, they are. So thank you also to Marcia and Tanya for joining as well. So let's take a peek at what we are playing with today. Still have the crud, so I will still try to stay hydrated so that I don't cough in your ear all day. All right, let's make room for the water. Okay. Easter basket bundle and Easter Joy suite. You guys are the best. So yes, it trips me up when the bundle and the suite are called different things because I then start to question myself. But yes, we have the Easter basket is the bundle and Easter Joy is the suite. Very cool. Shy Shamrock. I was just talking about how green is not my favorite color. It's actually my least favorite color, but that Shy Shamrock really has been speaking to me. Thank you so much, Feline, for liking and sharing, joining us from Eastern Oregon. So, super cute stamps. I'll tell you more about that in just a minute. But we have Celebrate Spring. Oh my gosh, this color scheme is so, so good. So we have 3 each of 3 different cards. So a typical paper pumpkin kit. I'd say once or twice a year we get a kit that's not that. Either like treat boxes or something a little different. But primarily we do have the 3 each of 3 cards. All right, let's grab some things. Okay, so we have Shy Shamrock and our block. Woohoo! Good morning, Mary Lemke and Susan. We have loves the colors. Green is my favorite color. Evening Evergreen and Mossy Meadow. Okay, so Feline, you're right. Stampin' Up! Greens are incredible. I really don't know why green is typically my least favorite color, but you are right. I do love Mossy Meadow. I am Evening Evergreen. I love Evening Evergreen too. There are some really great colors to design with, but as a whole, green is just my least favorite, I guess, category of colors. Oh my gosh, look at these. Okay, so we have some pink baker's twine. We also have this kind of like holographic sequins. It looks to me in like a more orangey color and then a lighter kind of white holographic color, or clear, I don't know. So those are amazing. And then we have glue dots and mini dimensionals as well. So that's fun. I'm just trying to think here now. Now you have me going down the green thought. Evening Evergreen. Oh, and Soft Succulent. Man, I loved those 2 colors together so, so much. All right, so we have kit components, contain supplies for 9 cards and 9 envelopes. Our coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors for this particular kit are Balmy Blue, Crumb Cake, Lemon Lolly, Peach Pie, Pretty in Pink, and Shy Shamrock. Have not seen much of the Lemon Lolly, so we've got some of that coming out here. Oh my gosh, Feline. Okay, Feline is one of my Winnie the Pooh loving co-stampers over here. Also, okay, we just need to acknowledge this for the minute. I just saw Feline had shared with me some duplicate stamps that she had from our Winnie the Pooh obsession. And I literally just saw the sticky note. I kept the sticky note that you wrote in the super sweet card that you shared with me. And I just saw it literally last weekend. I was doing some cleaning out of stuff, and I have it hanging in my desk space, and it's still there. It's never going to move because I love not only having like this shared love of Winnie the Pooh, but also just how sweet and compassionate and thoughtful and caring our community is. And it's just, I love having that little reminder. But also, I do need to share, Winnie the Pooh is like my absolute favorite. Oh, I have little Winnie the Pooh slides that I bring to the hive that I wear. I just got them at Five Below. By the way, Feline, if you have a Five Below near you, they have an incredible Winnie the Pooh section. I literally stopped in Appleton on my way home from visiting my boyfriend because I had to see if they had this stuff, and they did, and it's so cute and amazing and adorable. But anyways, there is so much Winnie the Pooh stuff out right now because Winnie the Pooh literally, I think it was Christmas Eve, celebrated its 100th anniversary, which is just so amazing and incredible. From what I recall, Winnie the Pooh was written as a comic and released in a newspaper on Christmas Eve in 1925. This might need so much fact checking, so like don't hold any of this as fact, but that's what I vaguely recall reading, and it has just reignited a passion in people for their love of Winnie the Pooh, and I'm seeing so much merchandise and so much really cool stuff out in like celebration and commemoration of the 100th anniversary of Winnie the Pooh. It makes me so happy. Okay, so anyways, that is my commentary on all of that. So, oh, Five Below. Okay, so Five Below is a store. The funny thing is, Sean, my boyfriend, was like, oh, so cool, you got so much cheap stuff, because from what we both thought, Five Below meant the prices were $5 and below. And that is typically what there is a lot of in there, but then they do have some like nicer, like I got a sweatshirt, and I can't assume that a sweatshirt's gonna be $5. I think it was $15. But yes, it is so cute. I love it. All right, so our Celebrate Spring stamp artwork is Sweet Spring Greetings, Hello Friend, Happy Easter, and then we have eggs and some grass. So Feline loves Eeyore. Okay, so at the school that I work at, my son's teacher loves Eeyore. Our office worker, I don't know exactly what her title is, but she loves Tigger. I love Winnie the Pooh and technically all of the characters. So it's really cool. We have like this crew of Winnie the Pooh loving guys. So I love them all. I really couldn't pick if I had to. My boys and I, we have gotten back into our Friday night movie night routine, which has been amazing. Okay, so we have 9 envelopes that are all the same with this really pretty pink pattern over here. But yes, so the Friday before Valentine's Day, we watched the Winnie the Pooh Valentine's Day that is on like Disney Plus or something like that. And the boys loved it. It was from 1999, so the like graphics are not all that fun and exciting like, I don't know, like modern graphics are, but they still enjoyed it, which I thought was super cool. So Tanya is also a Winnie the Pooh lover. That is so cool, and she loves all the characters just like me. I love it. I'm here for it. And okay, cool. I did not know that. Susan says that Five Below used to mean that everything is below $5, but that does not hold true anymore. Okay, cool. So I wasn't like super wrong. Julie Bierschmuck says, good morning. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, laying things out here. We have our, okay, so what do we have here? So lemon lolly and peach pie. Then this must be like a diluted tone of Shy Shamrock. And then over here we have a blue color. So I think these colors don't necessarily follow the Stampin' Up! Color palette. They're like versions of it. But look at the colors on these flowers. So pretty. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I think all of these pieces get stamped. It looks like we have stamping on the eggs, stamping on these pieces. These ferns maybe aren't stamped, so I'll go ahead and punch these out. These appear to go on the green card. Man, I love being in the company of people who are passionate about the same thing. So obviously we're all passionate about card making, but when I find a Winnie the Pooh lover out there, it just makes my heart happy. I found some social media accounts online that also are Winnie the Pooh lovers. They're usually people who do the like blind bags and stuff like that. So they spend a lot of money on Winnie the Pooh merchandise, which makes me like super jealous, but I try not to consume, or even definitely not over consume, I try to only order things that I like have had on my radar for months and months and months, or things that I know like are things that I really, really want, because it can be a huge slippery slope just to be out there wanting and buying everything. So I try to be really judicial about the things that I love, especially when it comes to Winnie the Pooh, because it's all just so, so cute. All right, so I'm going ahead and collating all of the pieces. We have the wreath over here on the orange and yellow card. Then we have the flowers from the inside. Those are coming in on the blue card. I don't remember, Julie, if I said good morning to you. So if I did, good morning again. And if I didn't, I'm so sorry. Good morning to you as well. Thank you so much for joining. We have the little pile of eggs that is going to go in the Easter basket. That also goes on this pile. Then this super cute bunny. Like I said, the stamp set that this coordinates with has all of these hand-drawn looking animals, and they're so cute. Okay, then we have these green and pinky flowers go on the green card. We have the giant basket goes on the blue card. And then last but certainly not least, we have a couple more of these peach pie flowers that also go on this card. All right, we're back to needing a drink break. Is anyone else just struggling with congestion this winter? So at this point, I don't think I'm sick anymore. I just cannot get the congestion to go away. And if anyone has any tips on how to kick it, let me know. Julie, where are you, Julie? You are not in Wisconsin if it's sunny and warm with palm trees. So I hope you are enjoying your vacation or your time away. Yes! Okay, so that's what I was just talking about, Julie. So I feel like I'm not sick anymore. Like, yes, I still have a little bit of quote-unquote lack of energy, but I just cannot get the congestion to go away. All of the rest of the sickness seems to have gone, and I feel like I've been hearing that I'm not alone. So if anyone out there has it as well or has gone through it, let me know what you're doing to get rid of it, to finally make it go away. Because I think, okay, so I was saying I'm not sick anymore, but I'm still feeling like tired because I'm not sleeping well because the congestion. Like, I'll lay in bed, I'll cough because I've got a tickle in the back to loosen up the congestion, and that's helping, or not helping, that's hurting me and my sleep. So other than the congestion and some tired because the congestion is keeping me up, I'm completely better. You're in Florida. Oh, go to the Salt. Julie, you're so right. I have been hearing such great things about the Salt Room, and I really should just make it a point to find some time to get up there. You know what? Going to Florida would probably help too. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so usually I like to start by stamping. I see here, obviously we've got a whole bunch of sentiments and then some eggs that need stamping. Just trying to see if there's any other things. Like, I saw the grass. Okay, so it looks like the sentiments, the eggs, and then the grass. Melanie, okay. So I'm not alone, which makes me happy, but also really, 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 really sad because this sucks. I pray that everyone who's dealing with this, is it just this year? Or is it just worse this year? Because I feel like normally I can take Mucinex and it's gone in like 3-4 days. This year, Mucinex, nothing is cutting it. And I'm sad. I'm sick of it. I just want to be better. Okay, so Happy Easter is going on the banner. Sweet Spring Greetings are going on the big square. Hello Friend is going on the tag. And then we have 2 eggs here. I cannot tell if they're the exact, they must be the same size. So one of them's going to have the full, lots of patterns on it. The other one's just going to have the circles on it. And then I'm also going to grab the blue card bases we are adding grass to. So that's all the stamping that we have. I do like to front load all of the stamping, but I will only stamp for 1 card. Sometimes I do it all, but I don't want to take too much time. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the stamping at this point. I am going to condition my stamps because that helps so much. So we'll just take a minute here. Ew, I got some paper. So fresh stamps are really sticky, and I got some paper stuck to it. But that stickiness is also what can cause our stamps to not stamp the best. And for that reason, I like to condition, which Chris has taught me. We take a sand eraser, scuff up the surface of a fresh set of stamps, and then you'll go ahead and clean your stamps like normal, and then your stamps will stamp so much better than if you had just taken them off and used them straight away. I like to just keep them on their carrier sheet because it's not sturdy like a block, but then I don't need to take each of them off individually. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now, Happy Easter is first. I'm trying to see here. It looks like this stamp does have some curvature to it. So, should work great in the banner, but not as versatile of a stamp if it really does have that. Here, let's bring our scrap paper in. Yeah, so it definitely has a wave to it, which, like I said, works great for our banner here, but then it's a lot less versatile for all of the rest of our stamping. So keep that in mind. Okay, Happy Easter. I think each of these stamps are getting used 1 time, so obviously if I wanted to, I could stamp all 3 cards right now, but for now I'm just going to do 1 of each. Okay, Hello Friend I'm grabbing next, and that is going to go on this kind of like mini tag here. Whoa! Oh my goodness. Okay, so I thought that this stamp, Sweet Spring Greetings, looks very shallow. What I mean by that is obviously the impression, or the thing that we want to leave an impression, so in this case, the words, is above the background. But visually, it looks like the background's not as sunk in as we typically see. And I thought that right away. I didn't say anything, but it sure does look like we have not near as much give on these stamps. And I guess what I mean by that is, yes, I saw that I picked up some of this excess ink in between the words or like into the background. I didn't think much of it because that happens often. These foam pads, love foam pads by the way, are soft. So when you tap, 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 you pick up extra ink. I am kind of, here, let's put it. You pick up extra ink. That's not abnormal. But typically, here, I'm going to move this. Okay, that's not abnormal. But typically, I feel like we don't pick up that much extra ink. Well, when there's a lot higher of a background, now we're going to go ahead and stamp. And if we press too hard, which pressing hard is not a bad thing, but if we press too hard because that background is too high, and I shouldn't say it like that. I don't know if it's high or too high or just higher than normal, or maybe this is the new normal. I don't really know. But I am much more used to pressing kind of hard to make sure I get a nice image. Well, if you push a little bit too much, all of a sudden, all of the extra ink can get onto your project. So, clearly, I pressed too hard or harder than I should have, and that extra ink around some of these letters got onto my tag. Now, that's okay because Stampin' Up! Typically, let's see. Oh, I zoomed the wrong way. Oh my goodness. Okay, Stampin' Up! Typically gives one extra of every stamped piece. So I can just go ahead and stamp on the next one. Or if I did run myself, like if I consistently am stamping and getting that. We used to call it a halo because it would be on the outside, but of course this is not around the outside. It is around the outside of the letters, but get that halo type look, well then we could flip it over. On the things that have some of the dots around it, can't quite flip that over. But just be aware that when we're stamping with these stamps, more specifically, I would be talking in this case about the Hello Friend and the Sweet Spring Greetings. I'm seeing that there's not as much like carving out of those stamps, that we maybe are going to have a little bit more of a chance for getting that extra ink on there. So I guess what I would advise for you is several things. Be a little more gentle with your stamps, with pushing them down. Go ahead and practice. So if you are the type who likes to press a little harder or press right on the stamp itself. So like, I guess I noticed when and maybe this is not a hard and fast rule, but when I pressed, now I did get some there too. When I pressed more around the edges, I'm seeming to be less likely to get that. Whereas I do more typically push right over the stamp. Because obviously what you don't want is you don't want to have inconsistency in your stamp. So like I can see here, I didn't press as hard on the F side, so the left side, and that looks more faint than the D side or the right side. So I typically try to press right over the stamp. So you'll see I move my fingers. Well, when I do that, it does seem as though I put more pressure on it. So I just need to practice figuring out how much pressure I need to get a good image. So grab scrap paper. Obviously, when we get our paper pumpkin, I like to use this piece because it's free paper, and practice how hard you want to stamp with your image. So there you go. That was a lot of talking, so sorry about that. But just be careful, because I do think this next one, let's see here, Sweet Spring Greetings, I think we're going to have that exact same challenge. It seems like it's not as deeply cut in. So right away you'll see a lot of excess ink. Now, I do typically press on the stamp pad pretty hard because I want to make sure I have a good consistent inking. If I stamp, let's see, that one was very good. I'm going to try one more practice here. Okay. Hold your breath. That seemed to work well. Okay. Sweet Spring Greetings. That looks like it's pretty well centered in our square. So with our scripty fonts, it's kind of hard. This definitely is tilting up. It doesn't look like it on the greetings because of the G, but you look at that spring, and that is very, very crooked. Okay, so now I want it to be like that would be straight, and we are far, far from straight. Obviously, I was very focused on how much pressure I was using, less so on how straight it was, but I don't think I noticed it quite as much here because I'm on a bigger piece of paper. That is no good. So we are going to go ahead, just for I want to X through them so I know I'm not accidentally using that. But now I don't have any extras anymore. Yes, of course I can flip it over, but I won't have that green dot pattern on there. So now I want to focus much more on trying to get that straight. Still praying that I don't get any extra ink, but less worried about that. Okay, so now I overcompensated, but it's definitely much, much better. Good golly, that's a hard stamp. I'm going to try it again. Eeh. Okay, that seems pretty level, which is great. Does look like it's farther to the left than the right, and I do have a little bit of place in the greetings where it looks like it didn't push quite hard enough. It is what it is. It'll be fine, but I am going to bring in my Stampin' Right marker and try to maybe just fill in a little bit of this, which is very dangerous. So needless to say, not my very favorite stamp. Okay? So, practice, practice, practice. Or, if you want, whoa, things like this are where I keep little tabs in my mind, like, hey, I don't really love stamping with that stamp. Let's maybe redesign that card so that I can still get a great card out of it, but maybe not using that specific stamp or not using that layout, so I can do something else. So I'm inclined to think, mental note, those are some supplies I might want to use for an alternative. That's kind of how I think sometimes. Okay. Now we got some eggs. Okay. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Apparently my stamping brain is a little faulty this morning. I think I got really thrown off by that stamp, and now I'm just trying to catch up. All right, let's get some grass down. And then let's move on, because I can't do much more stamping today. All right, we are going to stamp 3 sections of grass. I love me a good grass stamp. And actually, Stampin' Up! Has some amazing grass dies right now. There's 2 different sets, and grass is just such a handy thing to have, whether it's stamps, dies, both. So I'm loving this stamp, and there's grass in, I think there's grass in the Easter Joy dies, if I want to. I know we used it. Okay. Let me think here. I know we used it for the Easter card. Now, what did it come in there? Actually, I don't think it did. I think it came in the, maybe the bugs set. I'm going to take a quick intermission and look. But then there's also grass in the upcoming online exclusives. I think it's called Perfect Match. It's the soccer set, and it's another really great grass. So very cool. Love that. I used to a long time ago, I used to scrapbook a lot, and let's see here if they come up. Woohoo! Oh, it is in the Easter basket dies. So I use the Stampin' Up! Search function a lot. It can be finicky. Like, I can be looking for something, and if I don't type it in exactly, specifically, it won't bring it up. So, I'm trying to think of, like, if I was looking for the Darling Dinos dies, and instead of putting Darling Dinos dies, I put Darling Dino dies. Like, in that way, it can be extremely particular, and sometimes I get frustrated, but it is what it is. Just know the exact name. But I sometimes use the search function in a completely different way. Like, I knew there was grass dies, and I didn't know where to find them, so I put grass dies, and it shows me the Easter basket dies have grass dies. Now, it doesn't show the Perfect Match one because that's not out on the customer side yet, but it should come up after March. Another way that I like to use this is sometimes I am looking for a particular sentiment. And if I type the words of the sentiment, not always, but sometimes it brings it up. So let's look here. Oh my. So like in that one, now this is a different language, so maybe a bad example, but I saw surprise. So I looked up surprise and it brought up surprise. Now it didn't bring up the Easter one, but that's kind of helpful sometimes if you're looking for something and you don't know where it came from, especially a sentiment. I use that often. Okay. Time for a drink and to start making cards. Thank you so much for joining, Feline. Sorry that I didn't quite get to the making of the cards. And yes, look forward to corresponding with you later. Okay, so our first card is the yellow and orange card. So let's take one of each of the supplies. Now, for this one, we need the Happy Easter and the Dottie egg. Now, I got that one a little crooked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my Shy Shamrock and just give it a little bit more of a border, and then I'm actually going to fussy cut it just on the edge. Fussy cutting is not my favorite thing to do, but sometimes it's very necessary. And look at that, a much better egg because, yeah, I got him a little crooked. Whoopsies. There's nothing that we can't salvage here. Okay, so first step is going to be taking our card base and burnishing it. Then, as most of you at this point know, I do not necessarily use glue dots, not very often at least. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this, adhere this using liquid glue. Very unique piece here. We've got a very pretty, very, very pretty peach pie pattern. Then there's a pink oval with a pink outline of an oval. And actually that pink outline of the oval is just for the placement of our floral wreath, which is so, so pretty. Okay, the liquid glue will come back when we move on to this Happy Easter piece, but for now we're moving on to our dimensionals, which will go on the back of these 3 pieces. So go ahead and place dimensionals all around the wreath. Then we've got 4 dimensionals for the bunny, 1 in each of the ears, and 2 behind bunny's head. And then we also have 2 dimensionals behind the egg. Oopsies. Okay. We'll start by placing down the wreath, and then next the bunny and egg, and finally we'll put the Happy Easter banner on, which will be adhered using liquid glue. Okay, so the pink line is not peeking out, so we want to cover up the bold pink line. We do want it just kind of centered, which I don't think there's really any like right or wrong way to do that. I feel like mine is a little bit hanging off to the left, so I'm gonna scooch that just a smidge more. Close enough. Next we have Bunny. Interesting. Bunny, I feel like if I would have designed this, which of course I didn't, and that's okay, I would have had Bunny looking that way, but we have Bunny, when we flip her over, looking to the left. Okay, and I don't know, maybe I put my dimensional in a bad spot, but to keep everything on the same level, I'm going to move the dimensional on the taller of the ears. I'm going to move it down so that this, when it gets flipped over onto the wreath, doesn't actually stick to the wreath. It's just going to stick on the light pink portion. And then put Bunny there-ish. And then we have the egg, which is also on dimensionals, but that's going to go behind Bunny's hand. Actually, I'm going to move Bunny even a little bit farther. This is so cute. And then Happy Easter, we're going to go ahead and adhere that. And Happy Easter goes down in this vicinity. Super, super cute. Now, I don't know about you. I don't personally use a lot of Easter cards. But that being said, I'm really excited to make these cards. I actually think I'm going to make these cards with my boys. So we've got Hello Friend, which is a good universal sentiment. We also have Sweet Spring Greetings, which can be used for anything. This one says Happy Easter. So this is an Easter card for sure. And there's 3 each. So there's 3 of the Happy Easter cards. Well, I can already off the bat think of 2 people that I'm going to send this card to, and I'm going to use this as a call for everyone who has this kit. If you don't send Easter cards, like I don't give an Easter card to my mom or anything like that, I have a prayer partner. My school has coordinated prayer partners, and my boys and I, so the intention is we pray for them every night, and we are encouraged to send them a birthday card. Well, those are like the quote-unquote expectations. The other expectation is to visit them at least once within the year, within the school year. And my boys actually did go visit Rita. Her name is Rita, and she is basically what a prayer partner is she's a parishioner of our church who is either homebound or in a nursing home, and they may have family, but they may not. Now, our prayer partner, she actually doesn't necessarily have family or family in the area. She was not married. She does not have children. Sounds like she does have a sister, and it sounds like she was a part of some faith organizations. Like she worked for a pastor, and she also taught at a Catholic school. But she doesn't really have much for family. So I try to call her about once every other week, and I do want to go visit her. I didn't get to go last time because I was sick, so my mom took the boys because she was so looking forward to it, and I did not want to cancel on her. So I'm going to send her an Easter card. So obviously we sent her a birthday card, sent her a Christmas card, sent her a Valentine, and so I'm going to try to keep up with all of the like holidays or even the smaller holidays like Valentine's Day and Easter, because these people appreciate it more than I think we will ever know or understand. And that is one of the things that I so very much love about our card making community, is that we are so generous with our thoughtfulness. And handmade cards and a nice note is one of the easiest ways to spread some sunshine. So Christine's kind of catchphrase or slogan is sending sunshine, love, and big hugs, which is beautiful, and honestly I think does more to spread love and kindness in our community than we even will ever know. So I challenge you, if you do not typically send Easter cards, like me, self-proclaimed, like me, I challenge you to find someone at a nursing home or a care facility who could use a little extra love. And you may not know who it is. Maybe you go to a local nursing home and say, hey, I have these 3 Easter cards. I don't know anyone here, but I'd love for you to give them to 3 of your patrons, or 3 of your people under your care. I do have one other friend. My boyfriend has a friend named Barb, who is also, she was a longtime volunteer for the American Red Cross where he was doing these events, and they formed a really great relationship, and now I've gotten to know her through him, and she's also in a point where she's not quite yet in a care facility, but she did just spend some time in a rehab facility after falling and having some fatigue. So I know she will love this little pick-me-up in the mail. So if you don't know what to do with your Easter cards, let's find some people that we want to share them with. There's my little 2-minute PSA. Okay, so we are putting 5 embellishments. It looks like 3 of the more, here they look kind of pink. In person they look more peachy. So 3 of the peachy ones and 2 of the clear or whiter ones. So I see a peachy one up top and a white one also on the banner. Then we have another white one, so that takes care of all of the white ones up here in the wreath, kind of by the flower. And then 2 pink ones down by the leaves on this yellow flower. Now, that is beautiful. I love that. But I also want to bring in some Stella. So I think what I'm going to do here is put Stella. Why do I keep getting some pigment? This, I think, was honestly just a buildup of Stella. It kind of came out grayish, which I know the Stella pigment is silvery, which can have a gray hue. But I think it really built up on the tip. I've never seen that, and I've used Stella for a long, long time. I actually knew of Stella before Stella came to Stampin' Up. I wonder when Stella joined Stampin' Up. Are there any super fans out there that know the answer to that? It's quite a bizarre question. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, take my Stella, and add some Stella to all of the flower heads. All right, at this point, we have only made it through one of the cards, and we have 2 more to go and an alternative. So I need to grab a quick snack, so bear with me. I ran out of the house a little unprepared this morning. I mean, prepared for my day, but not prepared. I didn't have time to eat breakfast. So I'm gonna grab a snack real quick. All right, so check out that stunning Easter card. Oh, it's so cute, you guys. These colors are so good. I want to say, I bet they're the colors that are in the Easter Joy. Okay, I need to scoot up. I don't remember what the suite was called. I think Easter Joy was the bundle. And I know someone commented, so I'm going to go back and look. Easter Basket Bundle and Easter Joy Suite. So then I think it means the DSP is called Easter Joy, if I'm not mistaken. I'm guessing it's the same colors in that DSP as well, because this coordinates with that DSP. Tanya loves it. Okay, I do too. This is so, so, so cute. Oh my goodness. Just ran tea and airborne out to my daughter's work. So I had, yesterday from Chris, I had some emergency, which I don't usually take stuff like that. Which, I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but I just don't have it. But Diane came into the hive on Tuesday and was like, you need to take this because you are just not getting better. So give it a shot. So I had it yesterday at school. And I'm looking for anything that's going to help me kick this. Okay. Sorry. I just ate a string cheese because I was hungry. Okay, look at all that cute Stella and the beautiful dimension. And, oh, man, I just love this card. Okay. We'll pull that off to the side. And move on to... Okay, now, can I zoom out correctly? Oh, my gosh. I keep... keep going the wrong way. All right. Now, moving on to card number 2, we have our sentiment that was not very nice to me, which means we are on to our green card. Okay, I have quite the pile of pieces here, so we need one of each. Now, I think all 3 of these flowers are the same, and all 3 of these leaves are the same. So I could just take one stack of each of them instead of taking one off of each of the piles. But where would be the fun in that? Ooh, you are right. Dairy products are not... Oh, wow, there's 4 of each of those. Probably are not a great... String cheese. Well, we are in the dairy state, so I don't think like that, but good call. I don't drink milk often, actually at all, which is terrible. I should get back into that. I used to love skim milk, but my boys, none of us are very much in the milk drinking category, so it goes bad, but I should get just a small amount of milk for when I'm feeling better. I had cereal with milk for the first time not that long ago, and it was a fun blast from the past because I actually had milk in the house. You guys are too good to me. You teach me so much. All right, so we are going to take the 3rd Sweet Spring Greetings, which was the one that I did the best, even though it is not perfect, but that is the one we're going to use here. Interesting. Okay, so this is a horizontal card. You have that dotted green line around both of the pieces. Interesting. Okay, so we stamped. That was step 1. That is done. Now we're going to put dimensionals behind the Sweet Spring Greetings. And then all of the rest of the pieces are using glue dots or liquid glue. So we will do that next. That will all get layered on this layer and beneath this layer, as far as I can tell. All right. So center this. Just checking out. Okay, so I'm game planning for some of my alternative purposes. All of the cards have just plain colored backs. If you know, you know. That's one of the things I like to do for my alternatives. So got the wheels turning, even though there's no extra pattern there. We'll have to come up with something. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer the flowers on the Sweet Spring Greetings layer and the, oh, okay. They were not all the same. So one of the flowers turns to the left, the other two flowers turn to the right, and then the leaves look like they all curve the same way. Okay, but if I'm not mistaken, the flowers are different. Okay, good to know. Which means even though this seems to be curving the wrong way, we do have one that has to go up here. Huh. I don't love that. It feels like both of these should turn that way, but there is only one that turns that way. And then this one down here, of course, that one. Okay, you guys, I'm not loving any bit of this right now. The card itself is fine, but I'm not enjoying layering these. I do think I stamped mine just a bit to the left, so I'm running into that leaf, running into the G, but not much I can do about it at this exact moment. Don't have fingernails and it's driving me nuts. Okay, layer that there. And layer that one there. Oh goodness, okay, I'm one short. I need 4 leaves. I only had initially grabbed 3, so I need to go back and grab one more to complete this. Okay, so I layered the 2 flowers on top and the one on the bottom. So the 3 flowers on the dimensional layer. And then I layered the 4 leaves on the card, so like the not dimensional layer. That's how I did it. Really is no right or wrong way to do it. And we weren't advised one way or the other. So that's just how I did it. Okay, so this time we are using 6 embellishments, which is not true. We're using 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it shows 4 of the more peachy ones and 2 of the yellow, more white-ish ones. They're kind of showing yellow on here. But I see that we have 3 of those, which... Yes, typically we do try to do things in odd amounts, especially for our embellishments. So that to me was not normal. So that just appears to be maybe a little bit of a printing error. So we will grab 4 of the peachy ones and place them around. I'm kind of just following their lead, although it doesn't need to be in any particular place. Now we'll move on to the white ones. And as I stated, we're using 3 of them. So I like what they're doing here. They're kind of tucking these half under the top dimensional layer, just to give it even further dimensional. Trying to squeeze mine in just a little bit. Okay, then we've got a white one there and a white one up here. So, cool. All right, again, I'm going to go back and add some Stella. So we'll add Stella on these. Oh, goodness. Very thick Stella again. I think I'm going to add Stella on these flower heads as well. All right, there you have it. Let's zoom in. Sweet spring greetings with all of those beautiful iridescent sequins and that Stella. Look at that. Pretty, pretty, pretty. All right, I'll move that off to the side. Oh my goodness. I don't know why, but I keep having the urge to zoom the wrong way. Oopsies. All right, now we are on to our blue card. Again, I love, love, love those little flowers. So sometimes I say, hey, I'm sneaking my Stella pen in to Stella as an afterthought. And I was like, oh, maybe I should go ahead and Stella right off the bat. But there's a bunch of these that get covered up. So I think I'm going to not, even though I can see here, like, I'd probably be safe doing these clusters on the side. But there's even a couple here that I don't think will get shown. So I will hold off. Okay, so for this one, we're grabbing the Hello Friend and the other green egg. Now I see here that I'm using ribbon, and I remember that I forgot the ribbon on the first one. Then I'm looking back, and I don't think there's any ribbon on the second one. Okay, so we'll go back and do the ribbon on the first one when we are done here. My bad. And honestly, I was thinking this even before I made the mistake on the second egg. I don't love how big this egg looks, and I think part of it is because of the border around it. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut this egg while we're at it. Usually I don't like to go rogue and go away from the instructions, at least on the one each of the cards that I show on the video. Obviously, the alternative is all about going rogue, but I'm going to do it, at least just for this. Okay, so there's one. We have the Hello Friend. And now I need to grab one of each of all of the rest of the supplies, which includes a basket, a set of eggs. There are 3 little peach flowers. And then there are 2 bigger lemon lolly flowers. All right, so I think I have all of the pieces now. And I do think this egg is a little bigger than the printed eggs, but trimming that down, fussy cutting that, definitely helps. Okay, so we did all the stamping. Now we are going to... So it looks like we're sticking down the eggs first and then taking all of the rest of the pieces and adding them. I'm feeling the need to not do that. I think I'll be able to tuck these eggs behind the basket even after. I'm just afraid of sticking them down and then not having them exactly where I want them. So I could be wrong. This could be a bad idea, but for now I'm gonna stick to my guns and stick the basket down first. So we have 4 dimensionals on the basket and then 4 dimensionals on the handle. Keeping them around the perimeter, we are going to try to stick some things down here. Actually, I didn't even move this one out quite far enough, I don't think. So we'll move that one out. Then we'll stick the dimensionals along the basket. Excuse me, along the handle. You guys, it's hard to talk on camera. So many times you'll hear me correcting myself because what I'm thinking and what I'm saying are not the same thing. So my sincere apologies. Especially when I'm sick. Like, through all of the sinus garbage, I seem to be having a much harder time thinking and talking. Hello, Connie. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so glad you're here. Better late than never. Okay, so we're placing the basket, and it looks like it's funny to me that those are printed there. They absolutely get covered, so I don't know. Okay, so it looks like we're placing it, like I said, over the top of those flowers, which, if you stamped correctly, means that we're right at the base of all of that grass that you stamped. So the top of the basket is kind of in line with these 2 flowers at the top on the left and right side. So go ahead and stick that down. I need to blow my nose quick. My nose was running. Not ideal. Okay, then we're going to adhere and try to stick our eggs in. Which, yes, is totally doable. Okay, next I'm going to put down the stamped egg, which is on dimensionals. So 2 dimensionals behind that guy. And that guy actually layers right on top of the left green egg. Oh, he's cute. All right, then we have our hello friend. That gets glued. I'm not sure if I'm going to tie the bow on it or make the bow on the bow maker and then do it. If you have a bow maker, I would go ahead and do that and then just stick it in the tag with a glue dot. But because I know that not everybody out there has a bow maker, I will go ahead and tie the bow onto the tag. So we've got 10 inches of ribbon. Here's the deal. I'll do this one without the bow maker, and then I'll do the other one, the one for on the bunny, with the bow maker. So 1 of each. Okay, so 10 inches of ribbon. This is going to be way more than we need, but it will help to make the bow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the tag on. So I'm going to tie it on. And I'll make the loop loop and tails for the bow. like way, 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 way more ribbon than we need. Okay, tie it nice and tight. And I do like to go back and forth. Like, I don't want the loops to be too big. Okay, trim the tails. Then this can get glued on. Goes over here. Honestly, that tag is what covers up most of the extra flowers on the side, which is okay. Okay, so it looks like 2 of the orange flowers go down with glue, and then the rest of the flowers go down with dimensionals. So we have 1 orange flower up here, tucked behind the handle of the basket. An additional orange flower that gets glued down here-ish. Then we'll put dimensionals. Oh, wait. Correction. We have dimensionals behind this 3rd orange flower, which gets nestled down here by its brother. Okay, then the large yellow flowers actually don't need dimensionals because they're getting glued onto the basket that has dimensionals on it. So one of them goes up there, nestled with that orange flower. And then, okay, this one I do understand is mostly on the basket, but I am going to put 1 additional dimensional right next to the basket because I feel like enough of it's hanging off that I am going to want some additional support. So I can put a little bit more liquid glue though. There-ish? Something like that. Okay. Then we are putting 0 embellishments on this card. As in, yes, I understand that there's already some ribbon on it, but we aren't using any more of the sequins over there. So that's a little bit of a sad face. And again, I know I try to follow the instructions as close or exactly as they are. So I could go ahead and put some. I don't know that there will be enough to put some on this card if I'm following the instructions for all the rest of them. So you could obviously bring in your own additional dimensionals as well. At this point, I'm going ahead and just putting Stella on. I have been doing just the petals. Obviously, I could put them on the middle too. I just kind of swooped around and some got on the centers, but it's your own personal preference. I do like it better on the petals and the center of the yellow and orange flowers though. All right, so there you have it. As promised, I will go back and add the ribbon to the bunny card. But here is our basket card. Cute. Cute, cute, cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yes, my understanding of zooming in and out, obviously I know how to do it, but when it's above me and I'm not looking at it, sorry, I keep doing it backwards. Okay, so pull that off to the side. I'll bring back the bunny card, and I think the bunny just got a bow around its neck. Well, a bow on its neck, I should say. Okay, so again, 7 inches. Last time I think it said 10. So this one apparently is going to be a little bit smaller of a bow. And this one, especially because I don't have anything to tie it onto, I am going to bring in my bow maker if I can find it at the desk. Oh no. Where is it? All right, you guys, I might just have to suck it up. Oh, it's under the cards I just made. Okay. I was 1 second away from giving up and just making a bow on my own. Okay. So if you are new and unfamiliar with what a bow maker is, you can always reach out. We make and sell them, but they are a handy dandy tool to make bows. Perfect bows every single time. Okay, now you heard me over there hating on glue dots because they just are not my adhesive of choice. But that being said, glue dots are instrumental in bows and ribbons. So go ahead and grab your glue dot. I have a roll of them, so I'm just going to use it off the roll. You stick your bow to it and then pick it up and go ahead and place. I have a little bit hanging out, so I'm gonna... Glue dots are, yes, the best adhesive for ribbons of any kind, but also really, really help you show the ribbon and or bow who's boss by putting it exactly where you want it. And actually I put mine a little high. Putting it exactly where you want it and keeping it exactly where you want it. So there is a time and a place for glue dots, and it absolutely is 100% of the time ribbon. 7 inches obviously was great for that bow. You did see, of course, I cut some of the tails off. You don't want, especially when using a bow maker or tying a bow by hand, you don't want the ribbon to be too short that you're struggling. So there you go. Go back and put a bow on your bunny if you missed it like I did the first time. At this point, I'm going to show off the 3 cards from the Celebrate Spring February 2026 Paper Pumpkin. What do you guys think? I think my favorite is the first card. I love the floral leaf and just that bunny. It's my favorite. What are your thoughts? Yay, we love them. All right, now I'm trying to like channel all of the alternative ideas. Yes, I love this card. So I don't really, yay, we've got love for the bunny. I'm not alone on an island. Okay, so I don't necessarily want to compromise that card. And also, I'm just walking you through my thoughts. Obviously, everyone is free to do whatever they want. But also, typically, I'm going ahead and cutting card bases and saving the back. But when it's just a solid printed color, that doesn't really do me any good. So I'm not inclined to actually do anything with this card. I would personally make all 3 of these cards as is. That's my thought. That being said, the only thing I might do differently is I would maybe bring in a different embellishment. This embellishment isn't really... It's not bad, but it's not doing it for me on this card. I would personally use those embellishments on this card and maybe bring something else in for the embellishments on this one. That's just my quick thought on that. Okay, Sweet Spring Greetings. If you guys have been watching from the beginning, if not, go back and catch the stamping part. I struggled. I struggled with stamping this, and I struggled with that stamp. So I'm inclined to do something completely different with this card. So right off the bat, I'm thinking, all right, nix that and utilize these pieces in a different way. Melanie, you are tracking exactly where I'm going with this. I'm definitely going to bring in the envelope and use the envelope flap. I love this pink color and I love this pattern. So basically I would probably cut the flap off and utilize it as DSP. And ding, 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 winner, winner, chicken dinner. It goes great with the color scheme over here. So yes, I'm not gonna tear this particular card apart. It's fine the way it is, but I'm likely going to utilize these pieces in a different way, bringing in other elements like this. Then last but not least, the basket card. I like it. I don't like it quite as much as I like the bunny card, but I'm not necessarily likely, I mean, I might do something a little different with it. I would probably cut this out and mat it, use this as the mat on another card base, and then probably double mat the inside. But this is close to a really good card for me. So bear with me as I go and get a couple additional things. Oh no. Okay, so I thought I was finding the Easter Joy bundle, but I didn't. So, sad face. Okay. I did find, though, the Beautiful Blooms dies. These coordinate with the Q1 2026 paper pumpkin. So that means January, February, and March. This die coordinated particularly well with last month's paper pumpkin, which was the Valentine's one. There was a lot of postage stamps. Obviously, this is a very universal die, but it definitely works well with that one and was designed to complement that. Now, for this one, I'm guessing it was the flowers, because this is definitely the flower that is used in the Easter Joy DSP. All right, it's one of the flowers. You can see here, this very hand-drawn, wispy looking leaf is what we've got going on here. And then this is the flower head that can be used with this leaf, as well as you can utilize that second piece as a smaller flower head, a layered flower head, and or some other things. So this might be really fun to utilize. And then beautiful, well, that's just a very nice, so I'm guessing this coordinates with next month's Paper Pumpkin, because that's what they try to do. They release a die set every quarter, and it coordinates with 3 of the Paper Pumpkins. So I'm guessing the beautiful is for that, but we absolutely can use it if we need or want to. And I guess I'm going to then make a run upstairs and see if I can grab the Easter basket. I thought I wasn't finding it where I looked, and then I thought it must have still been down here, but bear with me, I will be right back one more time. All right. Thank you for your patience. Chris and Diane are upstairs designing, and that's why some of these supplies are in different spots than they normally are. So she actually was using the Easter dies and stamp sets recently to design that class. So, oh, also, wow, I am out of shape, and I was trying to hustle. So, whee, thank you, and sorry, all at the same time. Thank you and sorry. I grabbed the pearlized faceted circles as well, and the bubble bath ribbon. Now, I know the bubble bath is not exactly the same as the pretty in pink that they're using, but I think it will work very, very well. And we can always bring in a blend if we need to. So, look at these cuties. Okay, I do really like this one. Like I said, I don't know why, but I would have envisioned it facing the other way. But I wish this was a stamp because I love this guy. Of course, we do have his partner over here. These two bunnies that match that same style. I think they're a little smaller. Yeah, they're a little smaller, but all of these stamps match this beautiful hand-drawn, and I keep saying that, I don't know if they were hand-drawn or not, but that's the feel they give me. Then we also, of course, have the chick and the sitting bunny, another egg design, and some other flowers. Then over here on the dies, we have a basket. So we could add a basket to that card if we wanted, although I don't know that we will. Then some people were questioning what was going on with these. These strips are used to weave in the basket. We did not use them though. Excuse me. We did not use them though. It didn't work the best, and to save the die cutters, we just kept away from it. Now, we do have the outlines to die cut the stamped images, including the flowers, the individual flower and the carrot, also the egg. And then we have some accessories. We have the grass, like we were talking about. The grass, I think, is made to peek out of the Easter basket, although we have used it as grass. And then we also have the kind of bunting, well, not bunting, the scalloped edge to go on the Easter basket. And then we do have a floral stem and 2 flower heads as well, which complement with these so great. So I am so excited. I love what we got going on here, and I'm very excited to make this happen. So in terms of sentiments, if we want, we have Happy Easter, Easter's on its way, Hello Spring, and For You. I can tell you what, we're not going to be using the Sweet Spring Greetings. That was a frustrating stamp to me, so I'm going to stay away from it. All right. I think the first thing I'm going to do is, well, clean up my space because I got a little bit of chaos going on. And then I want these to be visible so that I'm inspired by them. I don't see myself using the postage stamp, so I am going to move that out of the way. Now, I do usually try to use what comes in the set and not bring in too much other, but because this coordinates so well with the Easter basket bundle, I might utilize some of those supplies. So don't hate me if I do. And then I might bring in some other colors, but I am going to try to stick pretty closely with only using Shy Shamrock. So we'll see. I might bring in some pretty in pink, but I am a little undecided at this point. Oh my gosh, that is so good. That's going to be a really nice addition. All right, I am just looking for my stamps. Where did I put them? Oh goodness. Huh. Okay, I put them back in the box. I was frustrated. All right, is anybody still with me? I'm so sorry I ran away. I completely understand if everyone left, but I am back, and I'm so excited about this card. All right, let's grab the green stack. Okay, and then we have 3 flowers and 4 leaves that I would have been using if I made this card. So basically, in my opinion, I'm just scrapping this card and making something else. Yay! Woohoo! Connie and Melanie are still here. Still here making alternatives too. Woohoo! Melanie, are you making an alternative with this kit? If so, man, pressure is on. Okay, so I'm going to leave this nearby as an inspiration. And I'm going to start by cutting the envelope. I think I might just cut the flap off and not cut it any other way. Oh, I was just checking to see if there happened to be any printing on the inside. There is not. Sad face. That's okay. I'm so happy with this piece. Okay. I love these. I'm honestly, I don't know if I'm going to use that square even, because I ruined so many of them trying to get a good one for this one. I don't have any extras, and honestly, I only have one left, and it's only good if I use it and I use it well, and I have 2 more cards. So I think I'm going to skip it and try to use these pieces. Maybe not even the card base, because it is kind of limiting with it being printed so particularly for that card. So we will see. Okay. I do like the green tone. So maybe I will use the back side. Not quite sure. Okay, so I think I can get about 1 3/4 by 5 1/4, which means close to a matted strip over here. So let's get started with that. I'm at this point, I think I'm going to commit to it being a strip. Let's cut. I might need to switch to my other card. Although Judy taught me, put down a piece of tear and tape. I don't like that this only goes to 4 1/4, because it's useful for many, many, many things, but it's not useful for everything. And I can't cut this piece to 5 inches or anything close to 5 inches because it just doesn't go that far. But she was using this on the top here to help her. Oopsies. It makes a difference if you... Okay, so I had it a little too close. Let's try that again. Close, but not quite that close. There we go. Now I can measure it to 5 1/4. Which is a very tight cut. Of course, I could probably do 5 1/8. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So 5 1/8 would be just a little bit smaller of a mat, which would be fine. For the time being, I'm going to cut it at 1 3/4. So cut most of the swoop off. But yes, at this point, it's not completely square. I have a little bit chipped out there and a bit more chipped out there. So good enough for now. Now I'll take this off with my little... I need to keep that stuck on there. Okay. Now, this, I'm not quite sure what color we have here. It's not soft seafoam. I think it's just like a lighter version, like a very much lighter version of Shy Shamrock. If not, it's made to complement Shy Shamrock. So I honestly think it's just a lighter version of Shy Shamrock. Okay. I love this. I'm almost positive I'm going to utilize this, which means I'm likely going to die cut this in Shy Shamrock. Not sure yet on the colors that I want to bring in for the flower heads. I might do Pretty in Pink, but with this over here in Pretty in Pink and these flowers, which I probably will use in Pretty in Pink, I might not. I might add a pop of color, although I might not actually even use that at all. We'll just have to see. Okay, so, bum ba da bum. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by pulling out a, do I go with a Shy Shamrock card base? I'm pretty sure I do. Okay, Shy Shamrock is way back here. Shy Shamrock is a very springy green. Okay, so I don't have any card bases. Oh. But I can get a card base out of here. I like using scrap. Then it seems like low commitment. Okay, so those pieces obviously are scrap. Oh my, I have cats in here. Okay, so I need 4, 5.5, right? Why am I struggling here? Like I said, my brain, yeah, 5.5. My brain is just not quite working. I need to get better. Okay, was that cut a little crooked? I don't think so. Let's try that again. Oh, this is not closed. Okay, that makes a difference. All right, then 4 1/4 here. I'm thinking of doing just a spring card here. Not using the Sweet Spring Greetings. Maybe using Hello Friend and doing some stamping, but I think I'm not going to make it straight up Easter themed. Okay, part of me is thinking about ripping this. I love ripping paper. I'm also thinking about stamping some grass down here and having the flowers down here. Not positive though. Normally I have more layers than that. Okay, someone's at the door. Let me go get it. Oh, hello. You're coming from this way.
I don't know. I don't remember where I'm supposed to drop this off.
Okay.
Christine.
I'll make sure she gets it.
And there's that little box.
Yep.
With the, but it didn't say the envelope wouldn't go totally down.
Okay, sounds good. I'll just make sure we get this to her.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Hi, Kitty Kitty. Hello there. Yes, I really just came to say hi to you.
Right?
Yes, I just did. Yes.
All right, so what are we doing
You're
over
such
here?
a lover.
Now, part of me wonders. Oh, I have a different idea. I'm scared, but now that I have a card base, I don't want to cut the card base up. I'll put that off to the side. I might go back to that, absolutely. All right, so let's do a traditional mat, which means this is not tall enough. Not even close. Okay, so we need 5 1/4 by 4. Oh, I don't have any embossing folders down here, which is, normally I'd like to use an embossing folder for some of this, but we'll see, we'll see. Okay, this might be great. Okay, so now I would be adding another layer, which I like. I was okay with where that was going, but this might be better. Okay, so I'm thinking of stamping the grass down here, and then this would be either on this level or I might even trim it down a little bit to like, you know, kind of mat it in there, but I'm not sure yet. But either way, I'm gonna start by stamping the grass, because if I don't like that idea and end up going a different way, that's fine, because I can flip it over. Or worst case scenario, I can cut another mat. Oh, I just love this grass. It's so pretty. It's such a nice stamp. I think I'm going to stamp it twice, because I'm not sure what I'm doing with this yet, but it needs to be a little more than once. And now I might stamp it second strength as well. Where did I put that piece of scrap paper? Did I get rid of it already? That's not. I didn't do that. There's no way. Oh, I put it in the box. I put it in the box with my stamps when I got frustrated. Okay. Normally, stamping at second strength, I could have, you know, I already stamped it once, but I've got some of the grass hanging out, and I don't want it to turn out bad. It especially fills in, so like, the grass stamp gets kind of thin on this edge, and there's a bunch of space that second strength filled in. It's probably not super easy for you to see at second strength, but hopefully that helped. Okay, so beautiful. I'm thinking about die cutting that, but what does it go with? I don't know, like, I feel like it needs another word, and I don't know that I have anything accessible to go with it. So I think I'm gonna utilize something else for the sentiment, as in like stamp it or use a different die cut. Not positive yet. Like, I'm very non-committal about a lot of things right now, but that's where I'm at this exact moment. Okay, so back to here. You can tell that, I mean, at least in my opinion, this green background is some version of Shy Shamrock, because they go together so well. Now, if I want this to be top to bottom, I'm going to have to trim down the mat just a smidge so that this pink, which has a little bit of a notch out right here, can go top to bottom. So I'm going to keep that in mind, but I'm not going to commit to it yet because I haven't decided on what exactly I have going on over here. Now, I don't know that I want or need these leaves. Not quite sure. Part of me liked the idea of doing this, but I'm one flower short. I would have needed a fourth one, and I don't have a fourth one, unless I utilize something out of this. But then I feel like if I'm going to die cut this out, I should just go ahead and use that instead of these, which maybe I will. The other thing I could do is I could cut this down to a second mat and put another color behind it. But I don't know what color that would be yet, because I feel like if I use this, I don't want it to be pretty pink. But then maybe it'll be the color of the flower. So I think that's the next thing. And I'm wondering if I want to make this flower with some of these flowers. Ooh, I like that idea. Now, do any of my flower friends out there know what this flower is? Is it a daffodil? Okay, I feel like I need my phone. I need to look up, because I think that's a yellow flower, a white and yellow flower. But I don't know. Oh, it's all yellow, or some of them. Or some of them are yellow in the inside and white on the outside. Oh, obviously we would try this out of Daffodil Delight. So I think that's what's next. I need to start die cutting some flowers. So I think what I'm gonna do is take and die cut these out of Shy Shamrock, which might mean that this is not the mat that I end up using. I might end up, oh, okay. I might end up doing this, and then let's get a white mat. Okay, I need to bring some of these pieces around because I'm gonna need to die cut some. Oh my gosh, it's happening. It's happening in my brain. Where's my white? And do I have a mat size? None of these are big enough to be a mat size. Now, normally Chris would do, I think, the mat at 3 3/16 by 5 1/16. Okay. So, let's grab this. The other thing I could do, this is the last piece of basic white, so I maybe just take this envelope piece. Oh, we're getting real scrappy, my friends. Okay, so 4, 5 1/16. By 3 13/16. Nope, that's much too small. So 4 by 5 1/4. So I took 3/16 off. So it'd be this big. Sorry, I need to do some math for a second. Did that work? Yeah, yes it did. So that is, oh goodness gracious, we need to trim that. Whoa, 13/16, 3 13/16. I had said 3 3/16, which of course is much too small. Okay, there's something sticky on here, so it keeps getting stuck, and I don't like that. Oh yeah, there's glue. Oh my. Oh yeah, I remember. Paperpalooza. Something was not cut quite right. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. But this has a jaggy edge too, so let's get that jaggy edge out of the way. All right, my friends. So now, I think I'm going to put this over here, which is perfect because then I can cut it and get that little bit off. And then I think I'm going to stamp in the Shy Shamrock, the grass down here. And then I'm going to put a couple of these flowers. I'm going to have to get more than one in here, but I do see that it's not fitting absolutely perfectly. But maybe I'll stamp and die cut out this grass piece. That's not it. Oh, the grass is not on here. Okay, the grass die is, the die cutters have it because we need it for some cards. Okay, that's okay. We can think on our feet. But I'm wondering if this is too thick. But I also need to figure out what's going on up here and how I'm saying it. Because I think I was going to go with hello friend. Although in the Easter basket, I could also do hello spring. I don't think I want to do the Easter sentiment. I think the whole point was to get away from using the sweet spring greetings, which I also think is too big. Okay. Then I have to decide whether I'm tearing this or if I'm going to stick to it being a strip. All right. Well, at this point, I now have more questions than answers, which means it's time to start die cutting. So let me go get my machine. Okay, so I have, yes. I can feel that we were trimming with glue the other day because it keeps getting stuck. All right, so now we need to bring in some Shy Shamrock. Is it not 1, 2, and 2, right? Looks like a sandwich of 2s. But that does not seem to be going through. This is not. That's too thin. It is 1 with 2 2s, right? Why is this not working, my friends? Because it needs to be a sandwich. Okay, I feel like I'm hitting a lot of barriers. Okay, there we go. I know, normally I don't use this machine. Normally I use the normal machine. But with such a limited space here, it's nice to be able to grab the mini. Oh, these are pretty. Okay, let's put another one of these through. Or I could use some of these. Ooh, okay. Just wait. Hold on. Okay. Yes, I know I need to cut out the flower heads yet. Now I want to trim this to 5 1/8. And honestly, because I want it to be here, now I don't know if I want it exactly there. I think I like the little edge on the edge. I'm gonna just flip it over and trim it by hand. Actually, I'm gonna, okay, so I see the score line from the envelope on here, so I want to get that off too. I'm being very particular, and I know I don't need to be, but I'm enjoying the particularity. Might even trim that off if I end up tucking these under like this. I'm not quite sure. I am kind of thinking, oh, I'm scared because part of me is thinking I want to introduce another color. But with the pink over here and the pink in those two flowers, is it gonna stand out like a sore thumb? It might, but then I would obviously use the sentiment to bring in another color. So, now, is it a tulip or is it a daffodil? And if it's a daffodil, is that too small? Because obviously it was made to go on there. So, I think I'm going to do a tulip, and I think I'm going to start with Pretty in Pink. So, let's find the Pretty in Pink. And hope that there's a nice little scrap. Well, we have this, so that's easy to work with. I don't have enough room. Something about these plates are starting to become too warped, but we're going to deal with it. Okay, at this point, we have that. We have that. We have that. I think I'm going to stamp. And then we have that, and that, and that with this. So it's very pink. Part of me is wanting to see some texture on the background and or something going on vertically over there. And I don't know that that's ribbon. If it's ribbon, it's not this one. It's something that has... Okay, it could be vellum with the ribbon, or it could be white with the ribbon. And, or, at this point, it could be bringing another color in. So, white, obviously, is not. Now, let's look at some of the other colors in the instructions. And in the other cards. So we could do lemon lolly, we could do peach pie, we could do, blue's not really a color for a flower. We could also bring in purple, so fresh freesia. And I'm thinking I'm going to have like a tag or something. A tag and then a shadow of a tag that is in whatever color we are using for the flower, just to bring some additional color in that way. Okay. I feel like I'm close, but I'm struggling. Does anybody have any feedback? This is good. What is this? Does this layer? Oh man, that can layer on there. That's what that's for. Okay. Now we're cooking with gasoline. So now I think we're gonna make one lemon lolly and one peach pie. Please tell me I have them down here. Okay, peach pie. Thank you, thank you. Lemon lolly. Okay. Time to get that. I mean, the other thing I could do is subtly add purple in fresh freesia. Yep. So would it be the back or the front? Okay. Okay, so I think what I'm doing here is making it fresh freesia with a little pink in the top, and then grabbing a dauber and fresh freesia ink. Okay, I'm enjoying this. Oh my goodness, that is a ferocious color. I like daubers, if you guys haven't noticed from me starting to help Chris design. It is a favorite of mine to add some sponging. Woo! It's really hard to get in there, so that's probably all I'm gonna get to do. Okay. So we have very subtly added some fresh freesia. Now I want to add fresh freesia over here. And I think that's going to be in the form of a little strip going through with some ribbon on it. Okay, 1 second. So, do we do white with fresh freesia ribbon over it, which of course we don't have fresh freesia ribbon, but we can make fresh freesia ribbon. I'm gonna try that. Let's see if this looks enough like fresh freesia. Oh, wow. potentially this dark fresh freesia. Does that look? Okay, we're gonna try dark fresh freesia now. I know I'm doing this on a pink base. It is very light pink, it's bubble bath. But I'm wondering if that makes it look too pinky and not freesia enough. So what I'm gonna try to do is grab a piece of fresh freesia. I need to start gluing things down, but I'm so afraid. And now I had, oh my goodness, I got some on the card base, and that is not going to get covered up. Good golly. Sad face. It is what it is. I don't know if that was from my thumb or from the marker tip, if I accidentally got that on there. Okay, I think I'm going to pull that in. And I think I'm going to tear this edge. And then I think I still am going to stamp down here. I'm going to start committing because that is going to help make it happen. Now, I don't think there's any way of getting that out. So that is just sad face, but it is what it is. All right, now I think I'm going to stamp, and I'm going to just stamp one grass. Right there in Shy Shamrock. Did I miss that whole corner with glue? I sure did. Just gonna do a little bit of stamping off to give it a little extra. I don't know. Not going to glue that down yet because I do think if I go ahead and add some ribbon in, it's going to go around there. So I have those two pieces, which when they dried, they did really end up looking like fresh freesias. So I could go back to that idea if I think that that's helpful. So it's either that or the white. And then I've got flower, flower. Okay, I also think oh, okay, now this. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the white. So let's see here. Let's trim that. Wow. My bad. Okay. So. So I think I'm gonna do just 2 runs of that and maybe tie it. I'm not sure. Or maybe just 1 run? I don't know. Okay. I want to get some more purple up there. Oh my goodness. What do you guys think? Did I lose you all? I might have. I'm going to go ahead and rip this edge. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and commit to the ribbon. So let's glue. I'm going to do something a little radical. I want the grass just a little longer. So I'm going to add just a few additional grass over there. I hope that dries to look more like the other shy shamrock. Look at this mess I have. Oh my goodness. Okay, then we have ribbon. Oops. Well, you know, I'm not using that white because it's too short. Yeah, it's too short. Well, there you go. Thanks, Connie. I'm over here in my own little pseudo la-la land trying to make it happen. Okay, let's get this flower together. Yeah, by trimming it, or by ripping it, it made it a little smaller, which is okay. It just, now I've got some more space, which actually is very good. I do want to pull in at least one more area of fresh freesia. Don't tell me I'm going to use Sweet Spring Greetings. It fits so perfectly up there. And it's okay if I use it. The whole card was inspired by not using it. Let's see if I can find some white ribbon. Okay, my hands are tied because I don't have white ribbon or embossing folders. Now, could I make it work with pink ribbon? Of course I could. This is live card making. I think I'm going to try one more thing. All right. We're going for it. Yes. Connie, I can agree with that. I wish I could find some white ribbon. I don't have any down here. And I agree. I think the narrower strip of fresh freesia would have been a good idea. But I'm going to do two runs of the bubble bath ribbon. Oh, I was thinking of using the twine instead, in which case, yes, I really wish I would have had a thinner strip. But it is what it is at this point. And I still have this beautiful lemon lolly and peach pie tempting me because I wanted to do that and really add some color variation. But I didn't get to. Okay, we're gonna run that back. Actually, we're not, because this ribbon very subtly has a front and a back. So I didn't want to do that. Okay. A little baby piece of tearing tape left. Okay. Against my better judgment, I'm going to use the stamp set, or the stamp that I did not want to use. I think it's God telling me that I am in control and I'm gonna make it happen because I want it to. So let's get our block back. Oh my goodness, you guys have never put the grass away. Okay, this is potentially going to be very dangerous. Sweet greetings. Okay, I think what I am finding challenging about the sweet greetings is that the sweet greetings looks very crooked when the when the word spring looks straight. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. That being said, I can make it straight because I'm stamping it as two different things. Okay. Also, this would look really good as like happy birthday or thinking of you or a thank you card. So, use what you want. Use what you have. Okay. Now let's glue. Flower, flower, flower. All right, at this point, I may as well glue it on, but at this point, I'm actually going to put it on with dimensionals. Oh, that is sticky. Ooh, that is a very sticky scissor.
The insects are all cut for you.
Amazing.
Okay.
Thank you. We have such a great group of helpers here. Anybody that's watched us any amount of time does already know that. It's not a spoiler. Okay, now let's get some. Don't look at the back of this card. It's a mishmash. Pretty. Okay, now we'll put this little guy. Oh my goodness, what is that? Thank Jeebus. It comes off. Aww. I like it. Let's get everything out of the way so you can see it. What do you think? My goodness, did you ever think I was going to finish that card? I think the sentiment could be down just a little bit. But all in all, I'm happy with it. All right, so let's bring back in all of the cards. I have 2 people still watching. I appreciate you guys and your steadfast devotion to seeing it through. Okay, so it does not, oh my goodness, at all look like its sister card, which is this. And then we have this one. And I lost the blue one. My goodness, where did they go? Right here. All right, there we have it. That was a little bit of a marathon, but thank you for sticking it out with me. So, I love this. And like I said earlier, I challenge you to use your Easter cards and get them in the mail. Maybe even to someone you don't even know. So, I appreciate you hanging out with me today. And I'm sending lots of sunshine, love, big hugs, rainbows, and bright skies your way. Have a great day.